Some things just don't ride on me real easy for me to accept. All right, now I'm gonna tell you, I'm not the person that's gonna be trying to tell somebody that Jesus was not God and Jesus didn't get hung on the cross. Jesus didn't exist or none of that. But this is what I want to say, that you really need to do your research before you just be putting all your energy into something that you have read about and that's all and someone else told you about and that's the only evidence you have of that. I don't care if a trillion people say it. If it ain't true, it ain't true. And if it is true only because a trillion people said it, then it's only true because a trillion people said it. It didn't really happen. But you need to have proof that it happened. And I could prove to you the easiest way to find out if it really happened. You just got to get over all your teachings about you cannot deny Jesus. Because you should never be in a relationship with anyone who tells you you cannot question me or question my authenticity. Anything that tells you that, you should worry, okay? Now, I guarantee you, if you look at the sun and you say to the sun, if you're really God, I want you to prove it to me. That's all you got to do. Just look at the sun and say, I want you to prove to me that you are really God. And it's going to be really oxymoronic for you to even say that, because you should be able to look at the relationship between the sun and the earth and see that the sun should have more abiding supreme power over circumstances in your life than some fragment of imagination that someone gives you from a book. The spiritual energy that's inside of you is the energy that comes to the earth from the sunlight and make all the plants grow, make the birds sing, and all the reactions that you see the earth recipients have with the sun. They have that reaction because they have not been brainwashed by people who wants to turn them into illiterate slaves. All right, that's what everyone in this country is. I don't care if you don't want to believe that or not. The only thing you're going to ever do, the way things are right now, is work, pay all your money out on bills, and then die. That's all. And living in that house that you live in, they can tell you that you own it and you're buying it and this and that. But the bottom line is that it's temporal, because when you die, you can't take it with you. So we are all slaves, and we have all been introduced into a system of slavery by the slave oppressors that has become very good at what they do. And it's going to be worse, because now they want to depopulate the earth because of the fact that they are declining in numbers, and because of the fact that the numbers of the masses on the earth are so grand that if organized, the people can build armies and kick their ass and take their independence back. And so this is why everyone needs to wake up and understand that you do not have an opportunity to sit around here and try to decide whether or not I'm crazy. What you need to do is understand that you are the one that's crazy if you don't know all this stuff that I'm telling you by now, and if you don't really understand the fact that you are in a state of oppression where that car is not yours, it's owned by the state, it's registered to the state, you are just the person that has permission to use it. As soon as you stop paying them the money that you signed a contract with to let me use this, I'll pay you so much money a month. You think I'm lying? Don't pay and see how quick they come take the car from you. These apartments that we all live in, find it so hard to pay the rent on and everything. As soon as you don't pay the rent, your ass be out there homeless. I already know the circumstances where they create joblessness, where they know for a fact people are not going to be able to pay rent and would have to end up homeless. They are doing all this stuff deliberately. They are deliberately doing this as a method of killing people off of the earth so they could get the numbers of the people down, so they do not have to worry as much about people being able to build up a combatant force to eradicate their control over everybody's lives. They control you, they control your wife, they control your systems, they control your children, they control the televisions, they control every freaking thing that's any part of the life dynamics. They have their fouled hands in it. Everything. Anybody that's pregnant right now or having a child or thinking about having a child, you better believe that you are going to have a baby that is going to be victimized by this corrupt system. They are building more concentration camps, more prisons. That's all they see in them, because they are very controlling, wicked people. And their biggest fear is the fear of a black messiah that's getting information from the sun, coming back to the earth, waking the people up. That's what they fear more than anything. That's the reason why they always show you Jesus with the sun behind him, because they know the true divine person is divine via information received from sunlight. And they know that. And see, that's what I'm working with. All right. And I have complications like everyone else, you know, where my body aches, I get tired, I have bills to pay and everything. And then it's just even worse on me, because I'm the person that's willing enough and diligent enough to tell everybody, well, you all been put to sleep by religious dogma, and you need to start trying to find your God self inside of you and start activating that, so we can all empower ourselves as individual units that can combine with each other to be able to build a society that is going to be for you and for I, because that's what it's supposed to be for I and you and I. And that means everyone should be doing good. It's not right when you have 10 white people sit over here and have all the orange groves, all the collard greens, all everything, and then you got a black family on the other side of the road that's just starving, and then these white people can sit over here and ordain through their religion that this is the way God wanted it. And it's from that type of behavior that we have the decadent world that we have right now. And heads will roll. I'm warning you guys. You can sit up and think that I'm just a big mouth nigga that talk a bunch of shit if you want to, but I'm telling you, you're going to be in a lot of trouble for not heeding to the words that I say to you, because I'm not a joke. I was seriously sent here, ordained by the universe to come here and have these messages that I give to you. And it's so heartbreaking for me to have to go through all of the turmoil that I have to go through, the rejection that I receive from my children and everybody that I know. It's like, what is wrong with you? Why are you rejecting me? What am I saying to you that is so offensive where you should look at me like I'm a bad person? Why? Because I'm telling you that you should look for a higher power source inside of yourself and stop giving it to some man that you fooling yourself believing going to come back and do something for you, and how ridiculously stupid you are for thinking that way. You want to get mad at me for pulling the freaking thorn out of your foot? I know it hurted, but it was in there. It had to come out. So I did it for you. You know, I mean, come on, see the greatness. See what's going on. Don't let these people keep fooling you.
The only way that the Christian could change that belief, the only way, there's no other way. Because he saw him die on the cross before his very eyes. The only way he could change that belief is if he comes to the Quran and he recognizes the Quran to be the word of the one God. Tonight we invite him to do that. When you recognize the Quran to be the word of the one God, then he now explains to you what you did not know before. That no, they did not crucify. No, they did not kill him. But Allah made it appear like that. And Allah raised him. And then once again he's going to come back. The Christian believes that, as the Muslim does. And when Jesus comes back,
you see the light? All my videos, that son do those interactions like that in all my videos.
The Christian believes that. The Muslim believes
That's why you guys should not play with yourselves. I'm telling you.
However, Allah releases into the world the false Messiah who will impersonate the true Messiah. The Christian believes that. The Muslim believes that. This is not something new. We have the same belief as the Christian. That false Messiah, in order to impersonate the true Messiah, must rule the world from Jerusalem, from a state of Israel. And the day that the Christian rejects this belief, this false belief, that the false Messiah will be a Gentile, not a Jew, the Christian will not be able to understand events unfolding in the Holy Land. Prophet Muhammad said, Allah's blessings be upon him, that the false Messiah will be a Jew. He'll be born of Jewish parents. He will be a young man. He'll be powerfully built. He would have curly hair. And he would rule the world from Jerusalem. From our perspective, when we see events unfolding in the Holy Land, in the way they are unfolding, number one, the liberation of the Holy Land for the Jews. Number two, the return of the Jews to the Holy Land to reclaim it as their own. Number three, the restoration of a state of Israel in the Holy Land which has a PhD in oppression and a PhD in decadence. This cannot be the Holy Israel of David and Solomon. Allah's blessing be upon him. No. This is the work of the Antichrist, of Dajjal, the false Messiah.
I totally agree.
And so when Israel replaces the United States of America tomorrow and becomes the new ruling state in the world, it will not surprise the Muslim. It will not cause any confusion in the heart and the mind of the Muslim, because he understands what's happening. When that man stands up and declares, I am the Messiah, and all these people who see with one eye accept him to be the Messiah, the Muslim will say, no, you are Dajjal, the false Messiah. Then said Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessing be upon him, the true Messiah will now come. True Messiah will destroy the false Messiah. And when that happens, then a Muslim army will liberate the Holy Land. The Prophet said, when you see the black flags coming from the direction of Khorasan, go and join that army has already started its march. They know it. And that's why they demonize as a terrorist anyone who supports that army. That army will liberate every single territory in a straight line until it reaches Jerusalem, said Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. At the heart of Khorasan is Afghanistan. And that's why they've occupied Afghanistan. When an army liberates every territory on its way to Jerusalem, there will be in that army Imam al-Mahdi. And so the liberation from oppression in the Holy Land is not going to come about through any negotiations conducted by Condoleezza Rice. The liberation from oppression in the Holy Land will come about, said Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, because of an armed response to oppression. The moral law is the highest law, higher than the United Nations Security Council. The moral law is that you have the right to respond to oppression. And if you cannot see oppression in the Holy Land, you're blind. And so history ends. History ends from the perspective of Islam with the truth triumphant over falsehood for the last time, with events unfolding in the Holy Land, with the true Messiah returning, and the true Messiah liberating the Holy Land, and the holy state of Israel, the one built on the truth of the religion of Abraham. That Israel will be restored, not this impostor. This impostor will go down into the garbage bin of history. That holy state of Israel will be restored. And that holy state of Israel will become the ruling state of the world. And the true religion of Abraham will triumph in the world. And so truth will triumph. And this will be the validation of Islam's claim to truth.
So prepare for all of this, the faith in God, and resort to good deeds, and force yourselves on it. And if you preserve the harshness, you will wind up with eternal joy. That is what I live for. I live for the big picture. Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. Now, I'm not a Muslim, but I do know a lot of the teachings of the Quran, as well as I know a lot of teachings of the Bible. So I do get good stuff out of both of those things. Don't get me wrong. I just don't subscribe to them, if you will. You know, I'm not a religious person. I am a person that I know that I need to link to my God self, and the way to do that is not through rhetorical formations. Okay, what I need is spiritual experiences to lead me to my God. When you get through reading that Bible, it ain't do anything if you don't put works behind it. And the works is the experiences that's necessary for you to find your true God self. So the religion is nothing but a method of sales to help you get down the wrong path, you know, and things like that. When I say get down the wrong path, let's see what he got to say. I mean, be a part of a decadence in society that you feel you have no reason to try to eradicate. Everybody in this world does not see the decay and the filth and the toxicity of it. And I can't understand why. What do you think the things are going to be 100 years from now, if that is bad right now? Because that is bad now because this is a takeoff from the 1940s World War II Nazis. And no one did anything to eradicate that. So this is what we got now.
He says, and I think he sounded credible, who called in last week about what's already on the news, that they've got hundreds of giant armored vehicles and even tanks from the U.S. Army from Maryland rolling around all over the town. Regular Army, National Guard, all over the country. They've got weird military checkpoints run by the TSA. This is in the news. And I noticed that YouTube's of the interview, because we're also, filming it, got hundreds of thousands of views in different ways of him just being on a few minutes last week. And people were debating, they're making up tanks in St. Louis. Folks, it's all over the local TV there. This guy isn't a cop. Okay, well, let's just say he's not a cop. They tell people all the time, there will be an event in October, there will be in December. I've seen this for over a decade. When they're doing these drills, they want to test and see what police are going to do, what military are going to do. I'm not quite sure why they do that. Well, I mean, I guess I am. It's to see how they react. Look, what we reported last week is now coming out in British news that indeed they're saying they do plan on there being a terror attack. It's Al-Qaeda flying planes into the Olympics. We were telling you that last week. Now it's in BBC, you name it today, but we're still the bad guys for having a whistleblower on talking about it. You see, this is what we're dealing with. So I think the caller is credible. And by the way, the next day, if your station only carries the Sunday show, we opened the phones to military and police and had more police from St. Louis call in and say, yeah, we're told something big's coming, and confirmed what he was saying. And I mean police with radios going off in the background. I mean, you could tell when a cop calls into the show. Incidentally, I got pulled over by a nice police officer Friday going to visit my grandmother, and he was very nice and let me go. Yeah. Anyway, side issue. Let's just go ahead and go to Jim, and then I'm going to go to Queensland, Australia. Daniel up next after that. But Jim, again, the interview got seen by hundreds of thousands even after millions heard it on the radio show. And the people didn't go look up that there's tanks rolling around in St. Louis. They didn't go look up any of it. Well, I mean, a small portion of them, but still, said that nothing's even going on in St. Louis. What do you say to that?
Alex, thanks for having me on, man. It's funny that you say that. I have a list of 4 things I wanted to bring up with you real quick. And the first thing I wanted to say was my interview on your show. I went to the YouTube, looked it up. I was hoping to see a bunch of info warriors happens. And those are the type of people that every day that I pull over a street patrol, they practically get out the car and get on their hands and knees and beg me not to give them a ticket or take them to jail. And let me tell you something, I'm a good guy. But there's a lot of my brethren that I work with that are just came back from Iraq, that are in secrets and stuff, Masons and all this kind of crap. And let me tell you something, when they kick down your door, they're not going to be like me. They're going to use your wife and your children, and they're going to do things to them that I can't even say on the radio show. So you should just, just pretend I'm not real. That's fine. But you've been warned, and Alan's been saying stuff for 20 years. He's been right, but, we're wackos. But let me say these other
listen, there's a reason they swarmed that video. They are paid trolls. It's admitted that billions with a B. I mean, that's in the Washington, Cass Sunstein. It was in the Washington Post 6 years ago that Bush paid, what was it, $19 billion in 1 year for fake news and fake blogs. I mean, they were paying radio hosts $250,000 apiece just to have federal takeover of schools with the No Child Left Behind. Armstrong, Williams, all of it. So,
I'm saying this, and I'll get off.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know you're busy. I just want to finish up the story because I kind of broke down last time, and I'm sorry I did that, but I'm
you've done before. Tell folks what's going on with the tanks right now. Tell folks what you've been hearing.
The neighborhood that I'm specifically, I've been practicing in, I don't know if you know this, but there's two big corporations in St. Louis, and I think they run St. Louis, and a lot of the people that occupy this neighborhood work at these corporations. And Anheuser-Busch. Monsanto and Anheuser-Busch. And these executives work there. And not only, listen to this, I've been told that these neighborhoods that I'll be guarding, they probably won't even be occupied when there's a collapse because these people we already shipped to a secure location. I think it's underground in the Merrimack Caverns, but hey, I'm just probably a conspiracy nut. The last thing, I just want to move to another point because the drill ended Friday. They're not doing that anymore. But the tanks are still here, people. Alan Watt, I think he should be on once a week, maybe. Just maybe for 2 segments. People need to hear you and Alan Watt go at it. I love your banter.
But listen, the reason so many trolls, it was still about only 20%. I mean, because you'll see the votes, 95% agree with us on, say, YouTube, but then you'll see all the comments attacking us because they're paid. We have tracked their IP addresses on InfoWars because we can go in and, they don't even hide that it's out of big corporations, Department of Defense, foreign governments. It's come out that if you criticize Katrina, the Department of Defense would put 100 bloggers, military, on there attacking your site, including with cyber attacks. So again, we're not attacking the military, we're attacking the fact that it's being used domestically like this. They're scared of your phone call. That's why they were swarming and attacking that, to make you feel like, because they're force multipliers, that you're alone. It's like Tokyo Rose. They would have the Japanese outnumbered 10-1, buried alive, and they'd still be playing Tokyo Rose saying the Marines had lost and had failed. Japan had A-bombs dropped on it, and Tokyo Rose was saying that, that the U.S. was losing. So don't let the fact that the trolls squeak and squawk and do all of that is nothing. But let me just get an update before we go to Australia here. Did you learn anything else? Because again, just to recap, what did they say was going to happen in October?
In October, the only thing I know is that there's going to be some type of event, and I don't know if the event's going to be in St. Louis or maybe it's going to be some kind of global event that's going to require us to patrol these neighborhoods, and with the neighborhoods, we're going to have air and ground support in conjunction with the local military here. There's something called Fort. There's a real close Army fort, really close to us, and that's huge. And if they can practice driving these tanks down the streets, and they don't need to practice driving down, these urban streets.
Absolutely, sir. We posted under your video the Secretary of the Army saying they're going to put regular combat troops in every city to pull triggers on citizens, and still people won't click the link. They say we're lying. They're delusional.
That's why I said this country's dead, Alex, and I'm sorry to say that, but you try to tell people this information, and even the people that are awake, they want to think I'm fake. People, I'm not fake. If I could give my badge number out, I would.
It's okay, sir. Listen, we understand. I know you're frustrated. It's all right, okay? They'll believe you later. God bless, and I appreciate it. Now, I've seen this before with police and military, though. Call back anytime, Jim. Good to hear from you. I've seen this over and over again. They are
See what he said? He said that this country is dead. That's the same thing that I say. It is so much garbage that has been put into the minds of the people in this country that it is pathetic. You cannot see because you have the blinders over your eyes. They have done a good job with making everyone in this country be stupid as hell. This man, there's a policeman that's telling everybody, oh, we have orders that we're going to be harassing people in the neighborhood tomorrow. And it's a white neighborhood. You know what I mean? They doing this stuff to you white people because you guys are the ones that have the money. They've already fucked everybody else over. The blacks and Latinos, I mean, come on. They can't gain anything from us because we don't really own anything. I'm not saying that to be rude, but it's true. We're nothing but a working force. And you rich suburban white people are the ones who have the most stuff that they can take. So it's you guys that they're going to be targeting the most because you are the ones that have the neighborhoods where if a black person is in the alley, you call the police. Oh, there's a black guy in the alley. But when I'm in a Mexican neighborhood, if I'm in the alley, they don't see anything strange about that. It shows you the conditionings of a mind. So since the Mexicans doesn't see a black person in the alley as being a threat, it's because the Mexicans are well aware of who the real threat is. But now you rich white people see a black man in the alley and right away you think I'm a threat. You forget that you stole from me. And then you call the people that helped you steal my shit to help you get me removed from your neighborhood. But this is a problem. It's not your neighborhood. It's the neighborhood of the people that you call. And they're going to be cruising around there real soon harassing you because now your number has come up. And so you can sit around here and try to disregard this information if you want to and keep relying on Jesus all you want. But the truth of the matter is that hell is on the way. Believe that. And that's the reason why I've been diligently trying to wake everyone up and tell them, as instructed by the sunlight, that it's time for you now to start fixing your karma and start having a connection with the true God of this universe, which is the sun. It has nothing to do with no image of no white man. And the white man image has ruined everything. The reliance on the white man to protect and provide for you and everything that he's been given the responsibility of doing, he's failed everyone. Okay? Except himself. That's the only people benefiting on this earth right now is white men that's a part of the white man that has set up all this chaos. If you're not a part of that, your ass is out here struggling, hurting, you know. And we all hurting. The men, the women, everybody. I see you women out there that's going through so much struggle and you're real strong and you're powerful and you're not saying nothing and you're not voicing your displeasure with the world, but I can see it in your eyes though. You see, and that's the thing that gets me the most because I'm so sensitive to things and I can see the decadence on the earth and I can see how to fix it. And I plan on doing that, but I can't do it by myself because the people is what need to be fixed, not the earth. It's the people. And see, I can change myself, but if I change and nobody else around me change, then my change wasn't extravagant enough. So my change has to be a change that changes others. And that's the reason why you see me out here voicing how I feel so much. Because I know that I have to not only change myself, but I have to change other people. And listen to what I'm trying to say to you. I'm not asking you to hate anybody. I'm telling you to love everybody. So that should give you a reason to start listening to me. Unlike that Christian Bible, I haven't given you permission to go murder no one and steal anything from them. And I will tell you right off the top, if you do that, you will be held accountable for it. And you will be punished. So I'm not giving you no type of rhetoric like that. That is not a part of my understanding of how things should be at all. But what I do want to do is point out to you that we have been misguided and misled by a whole lot of people that do not plan on seeing the outcome of this returning us to anything great. We are nothing but soon to be carcasses. That's pretty much the way things look. It's sad, but it's true. Let's see what else Alex Jones got to say.
Getting ready, probably, to have a war going with Syria and Iran by then. I mean, it's admittedly on the front burner. May happen, may not happen.
Oh, the Iran war will happen.